Well, ladies and gentlemen, dear Walter, thanks for the introduction. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I got a very challenging task here. And this is running a presentation which is towards the end of the first day in theoretically 7 minutes with timing, and standing between you and the reception. I will just do my best here on the basis of my German precision timing background. We have been talking and hearing about disasters and crises all of the afternoon. A flooding here, a forest fire there, and we have been talking about preparedness and response, but where is the big picture? And the Joint Research Center doing scientific support to the policymakers who are doing political decisions in Brussels and in Luxembourg is looking into exactly these questions and these considerations. So we try to think the impossible, which is not a yet even bigger flood, or yet another forest fire, or drought, or a civil war. It's just something, let me see, I'll click on here, the big picture, which was also issued by a publication that was NASA co-funded and said the modern society is not as stable as we might think it is. So I'm not going to read the slides here, but running the handy model, there have been different results on how long a modern society like ours can be sustainable. And this is a big picture. Because we are not only talking about a disaster here where we can put all our money together to just mitigate the impact. We're talking about the society on its own, the society itself. And running a model, there was an inevitable collapse of society, whatever way the model was run, sometimes earlier, sometimes later. And it struck the commoners earlier, and the elites were struck later, but they collapsed altogether. So the idea is, where are we now? Do we have enough resilience? Can we live on to exploit the planet as we have done in the past? Or are we somewhere where we need a different paradigm? And the scientific service of the European Commission is looking into this seriously. Today we know this time is different because our society is more robust, more educated, more advanced. But this is a quote from the study where it says, complex, sophisticated societies can be both fragile and impermanent. So if we believe that this time is different, why do we believe this? Because we are still around? Whoever has read the book The Black Swan of Nicholas Taleb knows that kind of predicting the future from the past methodology of the Christmas turkey. I mean, the beast is growing fatter and fatter every day, and the extrapolation is that it will grow fatter even after Thanksgiving. So in principle, there is just a cutoff day when everything collapses, and the turkey only can extrapolate from the past, and this does not really help. So looking at the society beyond single disasters, where we have sometimes something with the environmental damage here or a financial crisis there, we have very many different building blocks, and by chance, or probably not so much by chance, they equal also many services of the European Union. So the European Commission services of energy and the portfolio elements, climate, environment, the external action service for the geopolitics. So we have political files in our European environment that match our society, and we do have that intentionally. And of course we know that everything that we're doing in industry also impacts the environment, and this is what we know since the 50s, or probably even earlier. And we've taken good care since the 50s, 60s, 70s, and we know that we can line up the different files in a chain. And they're not completely independent, they interact. And that chain idea is quite old because actually it's outdated. And if we're taking a look at the dependencies that we've developed over time, we should rather line them up in a circle. So they're not only connected like this, and I left something out between climate and the digital world intentionally, but they're connected like that. And this is our world today, believe it or not. We're shipping our products all across the globe. We're doing just-in-time management, and all of a sudden we have a Great Eastern earthquake somewhere, and an incident here, and then a Ford Motor Company can only produce black cars for a certain amount of time because the supply chain is interrupted. I mean, this is what we are doing, and why actually are we doing that and developing all these interdependencies? We're doing that because it's cheaper. It's better profit, short-sighted, at the costs and at the risk to other pieces of our society, as Professor Wren has just pointed out. So we have developed these interdependencies, and now we need to learn to live with them. Take a look at just one segment that we had before, financial markets. And they look like this, at least here it shows. This is out of Nature magazine, connections between financial institutions. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a mess. Can anybody control alone the financial market? And in the past, we have seen that we're having our difficulties. In my institute, I'm having a team of mathematicians that are modeling things like this in the financial markets. I can tell you it's really, really complex. So what bank is systemically relevant here? And this is only the financial markets, and I love to hear, Ortwin, thanks to your statement, saying we must take better care of our common resources, like climate, environment, but also the capital markets. So, in principle, in energy, it's similar resources. And I was asked by some of the contributors of our session tomorrow to also show the slide that really nobody wants to see, on energy. And it's a slide that we do not want to discuss because we really want to live like the Christmas turkey, extrapolating growth and growth and growth out of the resources that we know to be limited. So the slide that nobody wants to see, for me, looks like this. It's copied a little bit out of the peak oil study slide that I found on the internet, so the reference is here, but it didn't say energy consumption. Actually, there are counter-arguments, of course. We can use shale gas, as we can see in the United States. But what are we doing at the other end long term? And what kind of impacts and damages and risks are we producing? So it's very, very hard to move, like the mayor of Davos has said, out of the small, confined comfort zone that we might have here and see the bigger world and the big picture. But this is what we need to do if we want to be prepared, if we want to understand that risk. And I can only give a keynote speech here, but we will have a fully blown session tomorrow in the morning. So this is finance and this is energy. And both of them look very critical. But we got 20 different portfolio elements on our societal slide, and they're all interconnected. So we are squeezing out the last margins since a number of years. Everywhere. And the results are like these. So all of a sudden, something goes wrong. And then we have an issue that can run into the billions. Offshore drilling, okay, couple of billions for a particular company, right. But we have also squeezed out the margins in the financial markets. Flash crash. Couple of billions somehow destroyed in a second, and re-established shortly after. Where did all that money go? And this is something that we also have discussed already today, inequality. Few people are getting incredibly rich on these effects, on financial bets, on high-speed trading, on other mechanisms, on energy exploitation, and then the risk is left to community. So we get some more on the slide here just to show you that it's not only single examples, and I could have filled 10 slides probably going backwards in time. But it does not always pay out to take risks. Sometimes it comes back, the pennies that I'm saving today are coming back if something fails as a big boomerang tomorrow. So the big picture that I wanted to show you here is we are moving our domino bricks closer in. And the one who is still standing to the left-hand side, the domino brick with the 3 on top and the 2 below, might still look at the others falling and might still smile, but it will knock him over from behind. That's the truth. And this is what we are doing now. We are shipping our products all around the globe. We have forgotten what it means to live locally and just be still satisfied, because we cannot squeeze out the last penny here and there. And if we are talking about single risks in single domains, then we will experience in the future stronger that all of these domains are connected. So my message here is we can pay attention to single risks today, but Margarete Wallström has said a very clear thing, and I'm very happy to see that this is one of the baselines that the post-Hyogo 2015 recommendations and agreements will have. Integration is important, and we need to look at that integrated risk, because if one domain fails and falls, others might fall along. So we need more resilience. And this is also a message. Resilience is nice, but more resilience should not mean that we can carry on as we did in the past. I mean, believing that we are halfway solidly robust and then we just consume and consume and consume. We need to have a different paradigm towards a different approach in society. But who should take care of this? So, where are we? How big is the issue? Are there alternatives? All these things will be discussed tomorrow. 8:30, room Wishorn, I learned. I'm going to be there. I'm not going to answer this now because we're running over time already, but we will have more for you tomorrow. Just from my personal perspective, and we have been asked by the organizers to also put personal slides in here, the new European Commission can address the issue. This is what we know about the new European Commission today. We do have a president, and we do not have a lot along. But to me, this is an opportunity to create more resilience and to get something done. Because not a single nation can address this big picture on its own. Not a single NGO, not a single private company. That needs triangular collaboration. It's cutting across the files of climate change, financial markets, energy, everything. Digital world. So all these files are addressed in the European Commission at a supranational level, and we at least have a president. That's good. The next EU summit will be on August 30th to also make some decisions about what commissioners will be nominated from different countries and who will join Mr. Juncker in his team that will start on November 1st. So the timing of that conference is perfect. We just have 1 week and we'll get a team together, and these people will have different portfolios matching all the different dimensions that I've just talked about. And the scientific arm, and Margarete Wallström called for more scientific support, the scientific arm of the European Commission, the Joint Research Center that I'm working for, is feeding into all of these political services. So I want the Joint Research Center and the European Commission to take a lead here to establish a continuous mechanism that we can utilize all together. I would like to stay in touch with the organizers here, with Walter Ammann, of course, how to get this going. I quickly had the chance to talk to Margarete Wallström about it, and she expressed a positive opinion about her support. So we cannot just muddle on. It's really not very nice to think about moving out of a comfort zone, but we will have to. Otherwise, we might risk a collapse, and that is what nobody wants to have. So my final line here, the time is now. Thank you very much.